A visit to Taiwan by U.S. lawmakers has sparked umbrage in Beijing and another round of military drills in the Taiwan Strait. China launched new deployments around Taiwan in response to the unannounced U.S. arrival, less than 2 weeks after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's controversial trip to the island. Taiwan's defense ministry reported at least 30 aircraft and 5 ships from the People's Liberation Army being involved in these war games, with 15 planes crossing the unofficial median line separating the Chinese mainland from Taiwan. China says its military drills took place near the strategically important Penghu Islands, that's close to Taiwan's main archipelago. Beijing describes its latest exercises as a stern deterrent to Washington and Taipei to, quote, stop playing political tricks. China earlier claimed it will continue military activity in the Taiwan Strait even after ending its large-scale 4-day drills in the region. Since then, Chinese forces have conducted regular sorties near the territory. Taiwanese President Ing-wen has responded to Beijing's drills. She says the military exercises have seriously interfered with stability and peace in the region.
我们不但和国际各方盟友密切合作，严密掌控周边所有的军事动态，也持续向国际社会表达台湾致力维护台海稳定的现状的决心。
The group of American politicians was led by Senator Ed Markey, who chairs the U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Panel for East Asia and the Pacific. He says the U.S. has a moral obligation to do everything possible to prevent unnecessary conflict. Mr. Markey also praised Taiwan for showing restraint in its heightened tensions with China. The delegation's trip lasted around 20 hours, and they have already departed the island.
他们这次的访问，在时间点上是非常重要，而且有重要意义的，因为中国军演的目的就是要吓阻其他的美国的国会议员到台湾来访问，他们来台湾访问，也再次证明了不是中国可以来指使或要求别的国家的政治人物能不能到台湾访问。那同时，它也展现就是美国人民跟台湾人民站在一起这样的一个重要讯息。
On this, Olivia Xiong joins us live from Beijing. Olivia, today's drills held near the Penghu Islands, they are on Taiwan's side of the median line. What is the significance of China carrying out drills at this location?
Well, we saw overall China is making very clear its anger at this latest round of visits by the U.S. delegation. And if we were to talk about the location of this latest round of military drills, they are taking place near the Penghu Islands. What we do know is that this is very close to the western coast of Taiwan's main island, and also it houses a major Air Force base. Also, observers say that these outlying Penghu Islands are likely to be at the front line if China were to stage some sort of invasion. So definitely of strategic importance. And we heard the military announce these drills and also release videos from what it said was an aircraft that had been participating in the drills, showing images of the Penghu Islands. The Eastern Theater Command said it had organized joint combat exercises both in the airspace and in the waters around Taiwan, adding it would take all necessary measures to safeguard China's sovereignty. Clear signal that China is sending also similar following on from that controversial visit by the U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan after we had seen those unprecedented military drills that had been scheduled for 4 days but then were later extended to a week, where we had seen ballistic missiles being fired and warships and planes being sent very close to the Taiwan coast, crossing that median line. The Defense Ministry today saying that this is a stern deterrence to provocation, and what it says is collusion between the U.S. and Taiwan. The key word here being deterrence. As we know that there are potentially more visits to Taiwan on the cards, especially by these European lawmakers who have said that they will go ahead in spite of what is happening and the warnings from China. So China observers say wanting to send a very strong signal in an attempt to prevent more of these visits from happening.
Olivia, you mentioned that visit by Speaker Pelosi. Now, that sparked days of large-scale drills. Now, this visit taking place just 13 days after that visit. Do you see it having the same sort of ramifications?
Well, some analysts have said that China, have pointed out that China has framed that visit by Ms. Pelosi as a major shift in the U.S. policy. It says that the U.S. has gone back on its commitments to uphold the one China principle, that this has infringed on China's sovereignty, and it sees this as provocation. Analysts also saying that this has allowed China to show its resolve and to show its military strength, talking about this new normal. And China has said that it will be conducting regular military drills around Taiwan, near Taiwan, to improve its combat readiness. And remember, in a white paper that China had released just last week, it has continued to say that it does not renounce the use of force to bring Taiwan under its control. Today, the Chinese Foreign Ministry also making this very clear and having this warning.
中方将采取坚决有力措施，捍卫国家主权和领土完整。美国少数政客与台独分裂势力沆瀣一气，妄图挑战一个中国原则，不自量力，注定失败。
At the same time, China knows, analysts say, that any direct military confrontation is risky, but what is concerning, though, is the potential of a miscalculation, especially ahead of the key Communist Party Congress that's to take place later in the year, where President Xi Jinping is expected to be granted an unprecedented third term in office. China not wanting to risk instability, but also having other levers, potentially imposing more economic sanctions on the island itself, on Taiwan itself, but observers also noting that these sanctions may stop at anything that may hurt China's own interests. For example, not going into the realm of semiconductors and chips, given the challenges that China is also facing with the COVID-19 pandemic and its own economy.
Oh, thanks for that. Olivia Xiong speaking to us there from Beijing.